Okay.
Why you guys advocate Enlightenment values so much? Yes, it's successful according to data now, but when it first appeared, there was no data to support it, right? Why not postmodernism now?
Wait, that's actually, I know this is a joke, but this is true. This is a good, I mean, not true. I mean, this is a good criticism. Is it? I don't know if it's being satirical or not, but maybe accidentally it ended up being a good question, because Enlightenment values, when they were introduced, we had not that much of a reason to believe that they are the most superior values, and that's why the philosophers that suggested them came up with the dumbest reasons why they're good. For example, God, ordained by God, like, I don't know, like gift, but through natural rights, God-given rights, as if the universe somehow wants justice, whereas as if humans are naturally deserving of free speech and secularism and all that. So those excuses were dumb, but there was no reason. You couldn't do anything else because you didn't have enough information to know if these work. But now we don't have to, like the philosophers that in the 18th century in West Europe. Now we have, compared to them, we actually have the data to back up why these values are superior to other values. We can see why they work. So we don't have to say like these are natural rights or crap like that. We have the information. We know why these values are superior. They just perform. So this question is saying, like, okay, so why not give a shot to other ideas? Like, given that, well, I mean, first of all,
Postmodernism rejects like empiricism. So like, how are we?
yeah, but maybe if you run a couple, well, first of all, we did give it a shot, didn't we? Like, we have seen that it doesn't perform. I think we have given it enough opportunity to see that is
a few decades enough? Because there's postmodernism,
yeah.
and then there's applied postmodernism. And
Right.
applied postmodernism really arrived in the mid to late 80s, really started to be consecrated in the 90s. And then it's over the past 6 years that we've really seen a lot of it enter more mainstream culture. Although it's been circulating on like Tumblr since 2012.
I can tell you, like, a lot of people that are on our side, they're on our side for bad reasons. Like, a lot of people just have dogmatically accepted that, oh yeah, secularism good, free speech good, democracy good. Like, but why? Right? Like, you can't just be like dogmatically be like, oh, these are beautiful words that we're just going to defend. You actually have you have to have a reason. You have to have a performance of these values to have, like, if your goal is to make the highest number of people happy and reduce the misery for the highest number of people, you actually have to have the data to back up why these values work over the other ones, right? You can't just be like, yeah, I'm for democracy because it just gives me a boner, right? Like, when I think about democracy, I just like democracy. Like, just out of principle, I think democracy is great. I'm like, no, that doesn't fly. Like, you have to actually have evidence to show that it performs better. But that's a very good. Well,
my whole chat just jumped, so I missed a lot of comments. But in the background, Armin, I just noticed that Steve Shives blocked AR on Twitter.
We never even interacted with him.
He blocked the AR. AGA, thank you for the 10 Australian dollars, saying, what's your opinion on thoughts on Blaire White and her right of center conservative view? Personally, I can't stand her, and she does trans rights and LGBTI community a disservice. I'm okay with my bias of her for now. Okay, well, to be honest, I have not watched not watched a lot of her content. I'm only familiar with basically the demonization of her. I appreciate her simply for being like it's not an easy position to be like a right of center or conservative LGBT person. It's really unpopular. You will be demonized by the community. And that's not easy. So I think like that's useful. I enjoy contrarians, even if they're not right a lot of the time. Just because I think it's important to have contrarians, even when they're not right. She can be heavily criticized for being tokenized by conservatives. So that's my vague opinion based on a vague familiarity with her.
Okay. Tell me if this is transphobic, okay?
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Okay, I will change what I will change if you. I'm open to criticism. Okay, I think that the right wing has some token trans people, right? And their token trans people are trans people who have more effectively transitioned than some other trans people. Is that fair to say? Like, is that
they're more cis passing?
They're more cis passing. That's the right. Okay, yeah. They're more cis passing, and they're also attractive, right? Because I mean, guys, let's be fair. I hope we get to a world where we have make enough medical advancement that the transition is seamless. Okay, but right now we don't live in that world. Okay, now transition doesn't happen as good as it should. Okay, so hopefully, as we advance, we're gonna be able to get trans people a transition that makes them all exactly the way they want to be. Okay, but right now we don't live in that world, and that ineffectiveness, that the fact that a lot of people don't pass as cis, is what rubs a lot of people the wrong way. They see something, they don't understand it, and it doesn't match what the standards are, and it scares them, it disgusts them. So if the right-wing people want to have somebody that they use as a token to go after the trans right movement, they need to be passing, and they also need to be attractive, and some trans people are very effective at that, and they have managed to corner a market in the right-wing community. However, as much as that is true, it actually might end up working. Maybe this is like because these people are so defensive. Like, if it wasn't for these people, these token trans people, they might have never opened up to any trans people, right? Maybe this token trans people, and having the right-wing people who were completely transphobic, that would have never even want to be associated with anybody trans. Maybe now that they're like, oh, we're not transphobic. Look at we have trans people on our side, and they're like, keep like bragging about them, showing them around, saying look, these are our trans people, right? Maybe, even though as much as we acknowledge that they're tokens and all that, but maybe that's the gateway to them becoming more excellent. It's better than them not having any trans people, right? Maybe them slowly becoming more accepting of trans people requires them having some token trans people that they could brag about. Mm-hmm. So maybe it directly leads them to be more accepting at some point. I don't know.
I have a thing I want to clarify, because Vikram is saying, is it difficult for Blaire White to be conservative considering how much money she's making from her views? That's not what I was saying. I was saying that her conservatism ostracizes her from the majority, not all, but the majority of the LGBTQ community, because it runs counter to the popular narrative of the LGBT community in the United States specifically.
Right.
So let me finish. So so I'm being very specific in that, because yes, of course, this is advantageous to her to be someone who is lifted up and propped in this way. I'm not delusional, right? that's what's made her and given her the position and platform that she has. But it comes at the cost of being ostracized from the identity group community that she belongs to.
Right.
Yeah. And I mean, she has lots of other very fuego, very spicy opinions that also contribute to her, having an arm held up to her. But and then Symphonic Emotions said, I question that genuinely and politely, not for any woke agenda. Susanna Jester seen at first, not a good one for a platform like AR. I'm confused by this last sentence. Jester seen it at first. What, my dramatic interpretation, my dramatic reading of your all caps comment? I don't understand.
Can I respond to Vikram before we go to the super chat by James?
Wait, really quickly. Jay is saying nothing more torturous than listening to Armin when Susanna is present. You're about to get banned from the live chat by Armin. And then
let me ban his guy.
Pakistanified is agreeing.
All right, both of you are banned. You know what? You guys don't have to be here. Jesus Christ. Why are you encouraging them? I will legit put you on timeout. You want to, guys?
You want to respond to Vikram's point here?
Yes, not everything is about money, guys. You could be emotionally stressed out and feel like crap, and you could be. I mean, look at all the rich people who commit suicide. It's possible for somebody to feel hated. You could make a lot of money, and if the world hates you and you get so many negative feedback, you might think what's the point of even making money? People hate me, right? You could be put in that position, right? I mean, once some basic needs are met, most of your happiness after that is not really determined by how much money you're making. Most of the happiness after that is determined by your social interactions, the people that love you, the people that accept you, your community, and crap like that. What? Every time guys, you saying you can't listen to me. Every time I'm making a serious point, Susanna distracts me like that.
It's because of the comments in the live chat.
Okay, fine. I'm gonna.
Ghost Bunny is being cute, saying Susanna the only woman who can talk over her.
I can't. Susanna, why are you highlighting that? Because I can't.
Pakistan is fine. This is what made me almost choke. Saying, I love Armin too, even though he does talk like he's constantly gargling mouth.
I'm gonna ban you, Deepak. I'm gonna ban you.
That's disgusting.
You're highlighting comments that I have come back to that I can't say. So this is unfair. But let's focus on the super chat.
Oh wait, just a second. Pyro's being sweet. Saying we all know Armin goes the extra mile when Susanna's with him.
No. Wait, can you address the super chat? People pay money for this comment to be reading, and I keep highlighting it.
James, let's see. Thank you for the £5.
Why are you being wait? Why are you not being great? You're yeah, I'm gonna read it. James is supporting our channel. You have to be appreciative.
You know I was.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm sorry if my tone implied otherwise. I was trying to switch, presentation real quick. Okay, so thank you, James, for the £5. Divine token. Someone who works against their own interests, but has it ever been demonstrated that Blaire White advocates against her own interests?
Well, okay. So not her own interest, community. It could be in her own best interest, but against the interests of the community that she belongs to, right? I mean, she has, for example, again, you can never know people's real intentions for real, but they might sometimes make it very difficult for you to be charitable to them. I mean, her entire, her channel seems to be partly dedicated to, look at this gross trans person. That's the theme of her channel. So
typically like really shitting on non-binary people, right?
Yeah, and it's like very. I mean, which community doesn't have its own fair share of ridiculous people? Like, but you exaggerating that is really unfair.
And here's the thing, like, there are very, I don't know how the best way to say this. People often do not tokenize themselves as other people who make tokens out of them, right? So, yeah, that's the best way that I would put it. Vikram is saying, Susanna makes the show really fun. Thank you, Vikram.
Yeah.
But Symphonic had a follow-up that is very good, saying Enlightenment values worked for 3 centuries, but that doesn't mean it would work for all time. I don't think we've ever claimed that.
Right, but okay, so but it's doesn't guarantee it, but it's suggests it very. It makes it very probable, right? So it makes it very probable. I mean, here's the thing: you could do the best way to keep changing. And the good thing about Enlightenment values is that it comes with its self-correction, right? So Enlightenment values include the scientific method and also freedom of expression. So compared to all the other values, anything wrong with it and anything that could work better, it has a self-correcting mechanisms built within it, right? So yeah, so that's other ideas like, oh, it works or it doesn't work, but once you implement it, like especially because of for example, if you look at wokeism or far right or Christianity or Islam, it's just like a package that you have to accept, right? But when you look at Enlightenment values, it lets self-criticism, it allows self-criticism, it uses the scientific method as a liberal a whole toolkit of liberal methodology, which includes the scientific method that has the best process of figuring, for example, the Enlightenment values that we defend today is not necessarily exactly the same as when it came out of Western Europe, right? It has consistently evolved, and even if you think Enlightenment values don't work as much as they should be, well, the best way to figure out how to make it even better comes with the Enlightenment values itself. Yeah.
This is funny. I love commenting. I mean, highlighting my own hate. Sorry to say this, but Susanna talks BS. She doesn't have any research, but continuously blabbers. We need better moderators. Be specific on the topic, Shubham.
Look at, well, Shubham, you describe, like, you have nothing to. It's funny because usually people that have nothing to say it with the most hostility and the highest degree of confidence. Like they have no reason to say, like, you're like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, and like they don't provide any argument. They're just like barking dogs. But yeah.
And subscribe, everyone! Every single one of you is watching. Subscribe, do it now! Do it now!